Good morning, everyone. Good morning, P51, P52, and P53. In our reading class, today we are going to learn about the space. So, what can we see in the space? Look at this. These are the things that we can see out in the outer space. But before we go to our topic, let's watch the video first. Did you see the video about the outer space? What can you see in the outer space? But before we will have our lesson, it's all about the vocabulary, we are going to read the passage. So, we are going to read your book. Ang page na yun. Ito yan. Hello once again, I'm your teacher again, and welcome back. So have you seen the video? I hope you watch. Hello class, welcome back. So did you watched the video about the outer space? Okay, that's good. So before we go to our main topic today, it's all about the vocabulary. I want you to get your book, and on pages 36 to 37, let's read the book together. Now let's read the passage, Journeys into Space. The history of the space exploration. For thousands of years, people have wanted to know more about space. In ancient Babylon, people studied the sun and stars. The ancient Egyptian used the stars to tell the time. In 1609, the Italian scientist Galileo was the first person to study the moon and the stars through a telescope. But when did people actually begin to explore space? Space exploration might not have been possible without an ancient Chinese invention, fireworks. The Chinese filled sticks into a fire. The sticks flew into the air and exploded. These were the first rockets. In 1898, Russian scientist Konstantin Tsiolkovsky said that the people could use rockets to travel into space. For the next few decades, scientists all over the world worked on rockets. On October 4, 1957, a Russian team used a rocket to send the first satellite into space. When this trip was successful, they decided to send a dog into space. On November 3, 1957, a dog called Laika became the first living creature to travel into space. Sadly, Laika died before the rocket returned to Earth. On August 19, 1960, Russian scientists sent two more dogs, Belka and Strelka, into space on the spacecraft Sputnik 5. This time, the dog returned to Earth safely. On April 12, 1961, Russian cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human to go into space. 8 years later, on July 20, 1969, people all over the world turned on their televisions to see American astronaut Neil Armstrong become the first human to walk on the surface of the moon. Since then, there have been many exciting developments in space exploration. On December 15, 1970, Venera 7 became the first spacecraft to land on another planet. The Russian spacecraft traveled to Venus and sent information about the planet back to Earth. In 1997, the American spacecraft Pathfinder landed on Mars. A small robot came out of the spacecraft, explored the surface of Mars, and sent some amazing pictures back to Earth. In the future, perhaps astronauts will not be the only people to travel into space. Some companies already offer flights into space for space tourists. At the moment, these flights cost millions of dollars, so only very rich people can afford them. However, space companies hope that more people will be able to have holidays in space in the future. Perhaps you will visit other planets one day and look at the Earth from space. So come on, let's learn our first vocabulary term. And our first vocabulary term is explore. So what do you mean by explore? Explore is to travel in or through an unfamiliar country or area in order to learn about or familiarize oneself with them. Like for example, look at this. It's a nature, right? If you want to explore the nature, what is there in the nature, you can travel and look what is in there. So this is what you mean by explore. And our next vocabulary term is fireworks. Look, these are fireworks. A fireworks is a device containing gunpowders and other chemical that causes explosions like this. So this is how the word fireworks. Our third vocabulary is gunpowder. And this is how the gunpowder looks like. It is very explosive and explode. And our next vocabulary is cosmonaut. This is how a cosmonaut looks like. It is a person who is trained to travel in a spacecraft. Our next vocabulary is satellite. And this is how a satellite looks like. The next one is land. And it's a verb. Land is come down through the air and alight on the ground. Like the airplane. Look! The airplane is landing now. The next one is a spacecraft. So a spacecraft is a vehicle used to traveling in space. Yeah, it's a vehicle that you can ride on to go to the space. The next vocabulary term is successful. Successful means accomplishing an aim or purpose. Like, look at the picture. If you want to pass through the other place, you can do it by accomplishing your goal or purpose so you can reach your other goal. Our next vocabulary is development. Development is a new and refined product or idea that you want to be known or you want to explore to other people. So that is development. And the next vocabulary term is surface. Surface means the outside part or the outermost layer of something. Like example, the earth. This is the surface of the earth.